Most people fear the loneliness of growing up, but the real danger begins the moment you actually outgrow everyone around you. You never notice the shift at first. It starts quietly, like the morning a man wakes up and realizes that the conversations he once loved now tire him, and the people he once needed now feel like distant echoes. He hasn't changed overnight, but something inside him has crossed a line he can't uncross. No one tells you this part. The higher your mind climbs, the quieter your world becomes. The more you grow, the fewer people can meet you where you stand. And one day, you realize intelligence didn't isolate you, growth did. The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly. Nietzsche. That's when the loneliness of growing up becomes dangerous, because suddenly, a single thought begins to haunt you. If I keep growing, will anyone stay? But what if this loneliness isn't a warning, but a doorway you were born to walk through? The loneliness of growing up doesn't strike all at once. It arrives quietly, like a slow rearranging of your inner world. You don't declare yourself different. Life does it for you. You evolve in ways others can't see. Your thoughts deepen, your values shift, your tolerance for surface-level noise fades. And then you notice it. Everyone else is staying the same, repeating the same fears, living the same loops, borrowing the same beliefs they never question. You're not trying to leave them behind, but the distance grows anyway, because growth has a pace, and not everyone is meant to keep up with yours. This gap, subtle but widening, is the birthplace of the loneliness of growing up. It's the fracture between who you were and the person you can never return to. But why does this fracture hurt so deeply, and why does it feel like losing a part of yourself? The loneliness of growing up begins long before you recognize it. It starts as discomfort, the sense that your old world is shrinking around you. Psychologists call it cognitive stretching. Jung called it the pain of individuation. Nietzsche called it the burden of seeing too clearly. Because once you see the truth, your truth, you cannot unsee it. You begin noticing your own shadow, the lies you told yourself, the identities you outgrew, the versions of you shaped by survival, not authenticity. And once you meet your own shadow, you inevitably see everyone else's, their defenses, their unhealed wounds, their fragile comfort zones, their desperate longing to stay the same even when the sameness is destroying them. Here lies the paradox. The more you understand people, the farther away they feel. The separation isn't arrogance, it's awakening. You're not abandoning people, you're simply refusing to stay small enough to fit their expectations. Yet the truth cuts deep. The more awake you become, the more alone you feel. And in that silence, a question sinks into your subconscious. Is this path meant to be walked alone? But what if this loneliness is not the end, but the initiation into a stronger version of yourself? The first step is acceptance. The loneliness of growing up is not a failure. It is evidence that you're expanding beyond your old life. You don't need to cut people off. You simply stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. The loneliness of growing up is not a wound, it's a rite of passage. Stop asking, why can't they grow with me? Start asking, who am I becoming when I stop apologizing for my evolution? And suddenly the guilt dissolves. Your energy returns to you, your boundaries sharpen, your inner world becomes solid beneath your feet. The loneliness of growing up turns from fear into fuel. The goal isn't to find people who match your speed. It's to walk so intentionally, so authentically, that the right people recognize you by the way you carry your soul. When you stop fearing the distance, you begin mastering it, and that mastery is the birth of a strength few people ever discover. But there is one last truth, the one most people never speak aloud. When you finally accept the loneliness of growing up, it stops being a burden and becomes a transformation. You no longer chase people. You no longer negotiate your worth. Instead, you walk quietly, intentionally, and others begin to follow. Not because you asked, but because inner strength has gravity. The loneliness of growing up is not the end of belonging. It is the beginning of a deeper belonging, one built on truth, depth, and self-respect. You weren't meant to return to your old self. You were meant to grow into the version of you that your younger self prayed you'd become. So here's your reminder. Keep going, even if the road is quiet. The universe brings the right people to those who refuse to abandon themselves. If these words resonate, pause, breathe, and choose yourself again. Tonight, ask yourself, who am I shrinking for, and is it worth it?